My beloved child, hear me carefully. A single yes to my voice carries more weight than all the years you think you have lost. You have walked through decades, some filled with joy, others shadowed by regret. And you may believe your greatest chances are behind you. But I tell you now, the moment you give me your willing heart, I can take what you have left and breathe life into it until it overflows. Time in my hands is not like time in yours. One obedient step today can accomplish what 1,000 of your own efforts could never produce. You may think that at this stage in your life, the callings I speak of are for the younger, the stronger, the faster. But I am the one who chose Moses at 80 to lead a nation out of bondage. I am the one who brought Abraham's promise to life when his body was as good as dead. I am the one who renewed Sarah's laughter when she had long stopped dreaming. Do you see, my beloved? Your age does not diminish the weight of your yes. In fact, it sharpens it, because what you choose now is filtered through the wisdom of many years, the humbling of many trials, and the quiet trust that comes from walking with me through valleys and mountaintops. You may say to yourself, Lord, my body is slower now, my opportunities fewer, my circle smaller. Yet I say to you, I do not measure your usefulness by your speed, your calendar, or your reach. I measure it by the openness of your heart. When you yield to me, you become a vessel through which eternity flows. A single conversation you have today, a single prayer you lift in faith, a single act of kindness in my name. These can echo into generations you will never see. Do you understand that history has been altered countless times by people whose names were never written in your books, but whose yes to me opened the floodgates of heaven? I tell you, a widow who gave her last meal fed not only a prophet but also the faith of an entire nation. An older man who prayed faithfully in the temple held the infant Messiah in his arms because he did not give up. A grandmother who taught her grandchild my word shaped a preacher who changed thousands of lives. These were not great by human standards, yet they were mighty in my eyes because they said yes when it mattered. I know you carry memories of moments when you hesitated, when fear or doubt held you back, when you walked away from an open door because it seemed too costly or too uncertain. You may even feel the sting of regret for what could have been. But hear me, regret is a shadow, not a chain. It can cloud your view, but it cannot lock the doors I am opening now. What I set before you today is not a small thing. It is a chance to alter the course of not only your own story, but the stories of those I have appointed for you to influence. Do not say, I am too old to start something new. Do not say, it's too late for my life to matter. These are lies whispered by the enemy to convince you to sit quietly while destiny passes by. I tell you, if you draw breath today, it is because I have something yet for you to do. You may think the work is too big for your hands, but remember, your hands do not carry it alone. When you say yes to me, my strength flows through you. Your obedience becomes the doorway through which my power enters the world. I am not asking for your perfection. I am not asking for your flawless plan. I am asking for your willingness. A fisherman who said yes to me left his nets and became a voice that shook empires. A tax collector who said yes left his table and became a witness to the greatest story ever told. And there was a young girl who said yes and carried the Savior of the world in her womb. All of them were unlikely in the eyes of the world, but all of them changed history because they agreed with my calling. You too stand at such a moment. You may feel as though the years have slowed you, but I see the strength in your spirit. The scars you carry are not signs of failure. They are testimonies of survival, endurance, and faith. Every tear you have shed, every loss you have endured, every prayer you thought went unanswered, these have been shaping you into the vessel I can now use for something greater than you have ever imagined. Consider the generations behind you. They are watching more closely than you know. Your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors, the young ones in your church, they are all drawing strength from how you live this season. Your yes to me now is not just for your blessing. It is a blueprint for their faith. If they see you choose obedience when it would be easier to withdraw, they will understand what faith truly looks like in the furnace of life. So I say to you, do not despise small beginnings in this season. Do not measure your impact by the size of the stage or the number of people applauding. Heaven measures differently. One whispered prayer can change the outcome of a war in the spiritual realm. One act of obedience can open a door for revival in a family line. One courageous step can break a curse that has lasted for generations. Beloved, my timing is perfect. I am the one who makes all things new. Your role in my story is still unfolding, and the chapters ahead are rich with meaning if you will trust me. A single yes from you is more powerful than a lifetime of hesitation. When you give me that yes, I will take your remaining years and multiply their fruit. You will see lives touched, hope restored, and my glory revealed. Not because you carried the strength yourself, but because you allowed me to carry it through you. Now I ask you plainly, will you trust me enough to take the next step I place before you? Will you give me the simple obedience that allows me to do the extraordinary? You are not standing at the end of your usefulness. You are standing at the threshold of your greatest impact. Choose wisely, my beloved. Your yes today will echo into eternity. My beloved, I have not led you into this season of life to leave you empty-handed. Along the very road you walk today, I have placed treasures, some small and hidden, others radiant and unmistakable. They are not merely for your comfort, though I delight in blessing you. They are meant to equip you, encourage you, and give you something to pass on to others who will walk behind you. But you must learn to see them, for my treasures are often disguised, and only those who walk closely with me can recognize their worth. You may expect treasure to always look like abundance in your bank account, perfect health, or dreams fulfilled exactly as you pictured them. But child, my treasures are often wrapped in unexpected forms. They may come as wisdom hard-earned through trial. They may arrive as a deep peace in the middle of storms. They may appear as people I place in your path, souls whose value you cannot measure by outward appearance. The world often overlooks them, but I see their eternal worth, and I ask you to see it too. I remember when my children wandered in the wilderness. They longed for the lush gardens of Egypt they had left behind, forgetting the chains that came with them. I gave them manna each morning, a treasure from heaven. Yet many grumbled because it did not look like the feast they imagined. In the same way, there are treasures I give you each day that you may be tempted to dismiss, because they do not match your expectations. But if you receive them with gratitude, you will discover they carry more nourishment for your soul than anything the world could offer. Sometimes the treasures I give you will come in the form of people who test your patience or stretch your capacity to love. You may wonder why I allow certain individuals to remain in your life, but hidden within those interactions is the refining of your spirit, the strengthening of your character, and the deepening of your compassion. Each time you respond with my love instead of frustration, you lay up treasure in heaven where no thief can steal it. Other times, I will place before you moments of stillness, quiet mornings where the world seems hushed. These too are treasures. They are invitations for you to draw near to me without distraction, to let my presence fill you until the weight of your burdens lifts. Many hurry past these moments, thinking they must always be busy to matter. But you, my child, know the secret. Some of the greatest treasures are found when you are still enough to hear my whisper. You may think of treasure as something you can hold in your hands, but often the most valuable gifts I give cannot be measured in material form. A prayer answered in ways you could not have imagined. A word of encouragement spoken at just the right time. The comfort that comes when you know without a doubt that I am near. These are the riches of the kingdom, and they will outlast the things that rust and decay. There are also treasures you will not recognize until much later. A delay that frustrated you may one day be revealed as the very thing that saved you from harm. A closed door may later be seen as my mercy steering you towards something far better. In those moments, you will realize that I was giving you treasures in the form of protection, even when you thought I was withholding from you. Do you remember the times you thought your life was slowing down, that there was little left for you to accomplish? I tell you now, these years are ripe with treasure if you have eyes to see. The wisdom you carry from walking with me over the decades is a gift this world desperately needs. The younger generation is searching for anchors in a sea of confusion, and you hold within you the steady truth of my word. This is a treasure far more valuable than silver or gold, for it can guide a soul into eternal life. I urge you, do not bury what I have entrusted to you. Share the stories of my faithfulness. Pass on the lessons you have learned in the fire. Speak my promises to those who have yet to see them fulfilled. When you do, you scatter treasures along their path, seeds of hope that will grow long after you are gone. Even your trials, beloved, are treasures in my hands. I know you would not choose the losses you have faced, the sicknesses you have endured, or the disappointments that have marked your journey. Yet, in the mystery of my love, I have woven beauty even from those threads. The compassion you now have for others who suffer is a treasure born from your own pain. The trust you have in me now is a treasure formed in the crucible of hardship. The deep joy you feel at my smallest blessings is a treasure sharpened by seasons when you had little. There are also treasures I am placing before you now that are meant to be given away. A kind word to a stranger, a prayer for someone you may never see again, a quiet act of generosity when no one else is looking. These are treasures that multiply in my kingdom. You may never see the full fruit of these acts on earth, but I promise you, they will echo in eternity. I do not hide these treasures to keep them from you, but to invite you into deeper intimacy with me as you seek them. Just as a grandparent delights in giving gifts to a beloved grandchild, I take joy in surprising you with blessings along your way. But unlike earthly gifts, these treasures often shape your spirit rather than merely satisfying your momentary desires. So I say to you, walk with open eyes and an expectant heart. Do not rush past the ordinary, for it often carries the extraordinary within it. Ask me each day to show you the treasures I have placed before you. Thank me for them, even if they are small. In time, you will see how they form a golden thread through your life, a testimony of my care, my provision, and my love. Beloved, the treasures along your path are not accidents. They are not leftovers or afterthoughts. They are intentional gifts from the one who knows your needs better than you know yourself. If you will gather them, cherish them, and share them, you will find that your journey, no matter your age, is rich beyond measure. My beloved child, the blessings I give you are never meant to stop with you. I pour into your life so that my goodness might flow through you like a river, reaching places you may never see and touching lives you may never meet. I bless you, not only to comfort you in your own needs, but to make you a carrier of hope, a sower of seeds, and a living testimony that I am faithful from generation to generation. Many of my children think of blessing as something to hold tightly, a gift to store away for themselves. But blessings held too tightly become stagnant, like water with no outlet. The greatest joy comes when you allow my gifts to move through you, refreshing others and multiplying as they go. For just as I fed 5,000 with a few loaves and fish in a boy's hands, I can take what little you think you have left and use it to nourish many. You may look at your life now and wonder what you have left to give. Perhaps you no longer work as you once did. Perhaps your body is slower. Perhaps your circle of influence seems smaller than it once was. But I tell you, the blessings I place in your life are not limited by the size of your stage or the strength of your limbs. A single prayer whispered in faith can carry further than the loudest speech. A quiet word of encouragement can change the course of another's life. A moment of listening with compassion can open the door for a heart to receive me. Consider the legacy of those who came before you, men and women who poured their lives into others, often without realizing the full impact of what they were doing. A grandmother who prayed daily for her family may never have seen the revival her prayers brought, yet her obedience shaped generations. A man who shared his faith with one struggling soul may have unknowingly reached thousands through the ripple of that one conversation. You are part of that same kingdom work. The blessings I've given you in your wisdom, your experiences, your faith, these are not meant to remain silent within you. When you share what I have given, you participate in something far greater than your own story. You become part of the tapestry I am weaving across time and space, a design so intricate that only eternity will reveal its full beauty. Even the smallest act in my name offered in love becomes a thread in that tapestry. You may not see how it connects to the larger picture now, but one day you will see how your obedience joined with countless others to reveal my glory. Blessings that flow beyond you are not always material. They are often unseen, yet their value is immeasurable. A word of wisdom spoken to a young parent struggling to raise their children in faith can shape an entire household. A testimony of my faithfulness shared over a simple meal can strengthen a weary heart more than you realize. Even your quiet perseverance in seasons of difficulty becomes a beacon to those who are watching how you walk with me. I want you to understand, beloved, that the impact of your life is not measured by what you see with your eyes, but by what I do with your obedience. When you allow my blessings to flow through you, I take them beyond the boundaries of your reach. You may encourage someone who encourages another, who in turn touches the life of a person halfway across the world. Your willingness to be a vessel allows my spirit to move freely, and where my spirit moves, transformation follows. There is a joy that comes from giving that cannot be replicated by keeping. You may have noticed it already, the lightness in your heart when you meet a need, the quiet satisfaction of seeing someone else strengthened by what you have offered. This joy is not merely an emotional reward. It is the witness of my spirit within you, confirming that you were made to be a channel, not a container. But I will also tell you this. Sometimes, the blessings I want to flow through you will require sacrifice. You may be called to give when you feel you have little. You may be asked to share your time when your strength feels limited. You may need to forgive someone who has wounded you deeply. These are not easy acts, but when you say yes to me in them, you step into a stream of grace that will not only bless others, but will also refresh you in ways you did not expect. Do not believe the lie that you are too old, too weak, or too insignificant to make a difference now. I am the God who uses willing hearts, not perfect circumstances. I have chosen you for this season as surely as I chose you in the seasons before. There are people in your path right now who need what only you can give. Your story, your faith, your prayers, your encouragement. The blessings I've placed in you are tailored for the needs of those around you. And remember, beloved, that blessings flowing through you often outlast your earthly life. The seeds you plant now may not fully bloom until years after you have stepped into my presence. This is why I ask you to live with eternity in view. You may not see the final harvest, but you can trust that I will bring it to completion. The prayers you pray today may protect someone in a generation yet to be born. The kindness you show may ignite a faith that will carry through family lines long after you are gone. You have spent years receiving from me, times of provision, times of healing, times of comfort. Now in this season, I invite you to pour out. And as you pour out, I will keep filling you. My supply does not run dry. In fact, the more you let my blessings flow beyond you, the more I can entrust to you. Just as a river is fed by fresh springs, your life will be continually renewed as you keep giving what you have received. So I ask you now, will you be that vessel? Will you allow your blessings to move beyond the walls of your own needs and into the lives I have prepared to receive them? Trust that nothing offered in my name is wasted. Every word, every act, every gift sown in love will return a harvest, some here and some in eternity. Beloved, your life is not a reservoir to be filled and sealed. It is a stream meant to flow. Open your hands, open your heart, and watch as I take what you give and carry it farther than you could ever imagine. This is the beauty of living in my blessing. It was never meant to stop with you. My beloved child, abundance is not a fleeting moment or a sudden windfall. It is a way of life in my kingdom. It is not merely the absence of need, but the presence of my fullness in every area of your being. I do not promise abundance so that you may hoard it, fear losing it, or measure it by earthly standards. I promise it so that you may walk in the richness of my presence, no matter your circumstances, and carry that richness into the lives of others. But hear me well. Abundance is not stumbled upon accidentally. It is entered into intentionally, step by step, by those who choose to trust me above what they see, hear, or feel. Many of my children imagine abundance as a final destination, a place where every problem is solved, every need met, every desire fulfilled. Yet abundance is not simply about reaching a certain state. It is about remaining in close fellowship with me as I guide you through the valleys and over the mountaintops. The road to abundance is not without distractions. The enemy will tempt you to step off the path with whispers of fear, urgency, or self-reliance. He will point to the storms around you and try to convince you that my promises are too slow, too distant, or too uncertain. But I tell you, the moment you turn aside to chase what looks easier or more immediate, you risk delaying the very blessings I have prepared for you. Walking steadily requires that you fix your eyes on me. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, he did so in abundance, not because the waves were calm, but because his eyes were locked on mine. The moment he looked at the wind and the storm, fear overtook him, and he began to sink. You must learn from him. Keep your eyes on me, beloved, and you will walk in places that seem impossible. Abundance begins with gratitude. You cannot step into the fullness of what I have for you if you are constantly looking at what is missing. Look instead at what I have already placed in your hands. Thank me for the small beginnings, for the daily bread, for the unseen protections. Gratitude opens the door for more because it shows you are ready to steward well what you already have. It also requires faith in my timing. I know the right moment to bring certain blessings into your life. If I gave them too soon, they might overwhelm you, too late, and you might have given up hope. My timing is perfect, even when you cannot understand it. Trust me enough to keep walking even when the next step is hidden from your sight. Steady walking means resisting the urge to compare your journey to another's. What I have prepared for you is uniquely tailored to your life, your calling, and your assignment. If you look too much at the path of another, you will either become proud and careless or discouraged and weary. Neither will lead you into abundance. Keep your feet on the path I have marked for you, for it leads exactly where I intend.